Atletico Madrid are one of the strangest clubs in Champions League history. They have never won it, but for years they felt like one of the main characters of the competition. They've reached finals, knocked out giants, built one of the clearest football identities in Europe, and somehow they've also become one of the most controversial teams to talk about. Because depending on who you ask, Atletico Madrid are either a brilliantly coached underdog or a football team that's designed to make everyone miserable. And in the Champions League, that reputation only grew. So today, let's go through Atletico Madrid's full European Cup and Champions League history from the beginning to the Simeone era to the recent drama that still keeps following them. Atletico Madrid's Champions League story actually starts before the tournament was even called the Champions League. Back then, it was the European Cup, and Atletico's first huge moment came in 1974. That year, they reached the final against Bayern Munich, and they were incredibly close to winning it. Atletico went ahead in extra time, and for a while it looked like they were about to become champions of Europe. But then Bayern equalized, and because there were no penalty shootouts in the finals back then, the match had to be replayed, and that replay was a disaster. Atletico lost 4-0, and just like that, their first real shot at a European glory was gone. And weirdly, that almost but not quite feeling would become their theme. For a long time after that, Atletico Madrid were not a major Champions League club. They had good seasons, bad seasons, and a lot of instability, but they were always a big name in Spain, but not always a serious European presence. And that's an important part of the story, because unlike Real Madrid, Atletico did not grow up in Europe as a royalty. They were not built with that aura. In fact, they spent years looking like a club that could not decide what level it belonged at. And in 2000 they were even relegated from La Liga. So when people talk about Atletico today like they were always a top level European side, that's not really true. The Atletico Madrid we know in the Champions League was mostly created later, and one man that changed everything. When Diego Simeone became manager in 2011, that's when Atletico Madrid's modern European story really began. Because Simeone did not just improve results, he gave Atletico a clear football identity, and honestly, it was one of the strongest identities in Europe. He knew exactly what Atletico were: defensively organized, physically aggressive, emotionally intense, and absolutely shameless about making games ugly if ugly football helped them win. And this is where the first big controversy around Atletico really begins, because a lot of football fans respect Simeone's Atletico, but a lot of football fans also hate watching them. They waste time, they slow games down, they break the rhythm, they turn football matches into street fights with tactics, and Atletico fans will tell you that's the point, because Simeone built a team that did not care about aesthetics, they cared about surviving, and in knockout football that works a lot. Then came 2013-14 season. This was the season Atletico stopped being that annoying defensive team and became a genuine Champions League threat. They topped their group, then beat AC Milan, then knocked out Barcelona in the quarterfinals, and then in semi-finals, Atletico beat Chelsea, and suddenly Atletico were in a Champions League final, their first final in 40 years, and the opponent, their city rivals, Real Madrid, the biggest club in European history, and probably the worst possible team to lose to. The 2014 final in Lisbon is still the defining Atletico Madrid Champions League game. Atletico took the lead through Diego Godin, and from that point on, they did what they could do best: defend and compete, protect the lead, and for most of the match, it worked. They were close, they were very close, but then came the moment everyone remembers. Deep into stoppage time, in the 93rd minute, Sergio Ramos scored a header. That goal changed everything. The game went to extra time, Atletico were mentally exhausted, and Real Madrid took over, and the final score became 4-1. Now here's the thing, that scoreline makes it look more one-sided than it really was, because Atletico were not outclassed for most of that game, they were minutes away from winning the Champions League, and that's why this final still defines them, because this was not just a defeat, this was a trophy that was basically in their hands. After that final, it became clear that Atletico were not a one-season story. This was a serious team, and they had elite structure, elite discipline, and a squad that was perfectly suited for knockout football. You had Diego Godin leading the defense, Juan Fran and Felipe Luis working like machines, Gavi, Koke, and Saul doing all the ugly midfield work that made coaches happy and highlight channels bored. And then later, you had Antoine Griezmann giving them real quality in big moments. This team did not always dominate matches, that's what made them different. Atletico were often comfortable without the ball, and that used to frustrate people. because a lot of fans think better football should win. Simeone's Atletico spent years arguing the opposite. A lot of people only call it anti-football when a team with less money doesn't play the way big clubs want them to. Because when richer clubs control games with possession, that gets called intelligence. When Atletico control games with aggression and compact defending, that gets called ugly. So whether you love them or hate them, Atletico forced football fans to confront one uncomfortable truth. There is more than one way to dominate a game. Then came 2015-16 season and somehow Atletico made another deep Champions League run. This time they beat PSV. They knocked out Barcelona again. They beat Bayern Munich in the semi-final. And once again the final was against Real Madrid. Same city and same competition. The same emotional baggage. Real Madrid scored first this time. Atletico fought back. Yannick Carrasco equalized. And after extra time, it went to penalties. This time it really felt like Atletico might finally get over the line, but they didn't. They lost the shootout, and that's when Atletico Madrid officially became football's most painful almost team. Because losing one Champions League final can happen, but losing two in 3 years, both to your city rivals, that's the kind of thing that follows a club for decades. They may not look like the best team, they may not be the most entertaining team, but they are almost always a very difficult team to kill off. And in the Champions League, that matters a lot. So what do you think? Can Atletico Madrid finally win the Champions League this season, or will they fall short again?